Okay, hi everybody. Um, Welcome to the IMS PAC workshop. I'm Emily DeRosier. I am the graduate program assistant for all of you MSc students. And then with me today is Joanne Lee, and she's the graduate program assistant for all of you PhD students. And also on the call is Dr. Vincent and Dr. Isabella Canigia, who are our graduate coordinators as well. So thanks everyone for being here today. So we're going to do a brief PowerPoint on the points of discussion. Sorry, I'm just admitting people. Points of discussion that we're going to be talking about today, and then we'll address any questions that pop up. You can either leave them in the chat, or you can raise your hand, and we'll try and get to them. I mean, I'm sure we will. So what we're going to be talking about today is PAC composition. So who should be on your PAC? The PAC frequency, so how many meetings you should have. Why holding PAC meetings, regular PAC meetings, is important. What happens at a PAC meeting, the paperwork, and if there's issues or any problems that pop up during the course of your studies with your PAC meetings or with any of your PAC members.
Is this gonna bother you?
Can you switch to the slide?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so PAC composition. So who should be on your PAC? So for quorum to be achieved, you need to have at least 3 PAC members, and that includes your supervisor and 2 other members. If there are those of you that have a co-supervisor, then you need to have 4 PAC members. So your supervisor and your co-supervisor count as 1 voting person, and then you need 2 other regular people. If you don't have a co-supervisor, then you need to have at least 3 PAC. Then you need to have at least 3 people total. So who should be on your PAC? So you want to choose faculty based on their research experience. So there should be a discussion with your supervisor, the other two or 3 members who should be on your PAC. And at least one of these other members need to have an arm's length relationship from your supervisor, that they're not a collaborator. And also all members of your PAC must have an active graduate faculty membership from the School of Graduate Studies at U of T. So you can check, there's a link here, I'll also put it in the chat. But all members need to, but like all faculty members at U of T don't necessarily have a graduate faculty membership. So you need to check for them to be able to be considered as an official PAC member. And also they must be a faculty member at U of T. They can't be a faculty member from another university. They have to be from U of T. So how often should we be holding, how often we should be holding a PAC meeting? So PAC meetings, you should be holding one at roughly 6-month intervals to remain in good academic standing. So you would also want to keep this in mind when you're choosing PAC members, and also the number of PAC members that you want to choose. If they're particularly busy clinician scientists, it may be difficult to schedule a meeting with 4 really busy faculty members. So you want to keep that in mind to not delay any research, to not delay any progress in your research, because you can't because you can't find time to hold a PAC meeting. Another point is, those of you who are interested in holding a transfer exam, and those of you who will eventually be doing qualifying exams, those exams don't count as PAC meetings. So you should have, so if you're thinking about transferring, you should have 2 PAC meetings and a transfer. Similarly with qualifying exams, at least 2 PAC meetings and a qualifying exam. Okay, so why do we hold PAC meetings? Why are they important? Well, because the members of your PAC meeting are there to give you advice on your research and advice on your experimental designs and to make sure that everything is sort of going well. They can also, if your research is moving slowly or if your research is going not in the way that you anticipated it to be going, they can offer you advice and help you workshop possible solutions. And holding regular PAC meetings is also important because PAC meetings very much mirror a final defense. So all PAC meetings, you present for about 20 minutes, which is about the length of time that you present your final defense at the end, and they're structured very similarly. So they're meant to sort of prepare you ultimately to your end goal, which is ultimately defending your thesis. So your PAC members can also offer advice on what work needs to be done, what you need to do to help you graduate. You know, they also might have any insights to like any awards or any scholarships that might be on offer that we as a department may not know about because they're in a particular field and they might be more familiar with awards and stuff like that in that particular field than we are.
Okay, thank you, Emily. So PAC meeting breakdown. Students are responsible for setting up their own PAC meetings. So discuss with your supervisor for PAC members' availabilities. Use a doodle poll to schedule and get a suitable time. And also allow minimum 2 hours for a meeting. It could be longer depending on your progress, stage, or the members present at the meeting. And make sure you send out reminder emails before the meeting with the date, time, and location. Prepare PAC research report a week before and circulate it to the committee members. There's a template that you can download on our website. The report is basically a summary of your research progress, concerns, research plans for the future. Since a lot of the faculty members sit on multiple students' PAC meetings, this helps them to be reminded of your research progress. And during the PAC meeting, bring the PAC form. It's a PDF download on our website. I'll show you the form on the next slide. And it will be a 20-minute presentation for your during your PAC meeting. You'll be introducing your research concept and results. Talk to your supervisor regarding more details about the presentation. And at the end, there's going to be a question period where you can get their feedback and comments. So it's important that PAC meetings should be honest evaluation of the student based on their progress and general knowledge. So paperwork. Each PAC meeting generates a written and signed report evaluating the student's progress with recommendation. The outcome of the advisory committee meeting is an academic decision and it cannot be appealed. So complete the PAC form and submit the same and related minutes as a PDF to Emily if you are a master's student, or to me if you are a PhD student within the two weeks of each meeting. The subject line of the email as an example should be next committee meeting, October 30th, 2023 at 2 p.m. or whichever date that you agreed upon. PAC forms need to be approved by IMS. So this is the PAC approval form that you need to fill out before you have your first PAC meeting. So IMS will review it and let you know if the PAC members are approved or not. It's important that you don't change the PAC member without getting an approval from IMS. This will cause delay in scheduling your future PAC meetings and your qualifying exam and your thesis defense. You can add more PAC member or remove PAC members later in the year. Discuss with your supervisor, even with the graduate coordinators, if needed, and send us a new PAC approval form before you have a meeting so that we can let you know if that member is approved or not. And this is the PAC report form. You'll fill this out with your supervisor and your PAC member. At the end of the form, there's a section where all PAC members need to sign. please receive their signature. It's important that we keep the electronic copy and to ensure that everybody, all members were there during the meeting. And your first meeting must take place within the first 6 months after the admission. So by February for September entry students and by June for January entry students. And your PAC approval form is due on December 1st to IMS, and we'll let you know within 2 weeks from approval. And next, issues with the PAC members. So sometimes issues might arise with the PAC members, such as not enough members attending. Remember that your supervisor and 2 other PAC members must attend the meeting, otherwise the meeting will be canceled or it has to be rescheduled. And limited expertise in your research area. So before you choose your PAC member, please consult with your supervisor. They can be able to guide you on choosing the right PAC members. And limited availability. So you have to make sure that your PAC members are able to commit to your PAC meeting every 6 months. So as Emily mentioned, if they are busy clinician scientists, and if they cannot commit to one meeting every 6 months, you need to consider choosing another PAC member. And you might have a conflict with your committee members or with your supervisor. Try to resolve it with your supervisor first, but if you need any advice or support, feel free to contact our graduate coordinator, Dr. John Vincent and Dr. Isabella Kanisha. They have virtual office hours every Fridays from 1 to 2 p.m. And lastly, if your research is going to a different direction and you feel that you want to work with the specific faculty member, again, you can always add more PAC member or remove PAC member. Okay, that's it for the important things to consider. If you have a specific questions about your PAC composition, please feel free to unmute or post it in the chat.
Yeah, I've been answering some of them in the chat. So I know that the first question was about arm's length relationship, and I've put some arm length issues that may pop up. So if they're a regular co-author or research collaborator with your supervisor, particularly in the last 6 or 7 years, if they're a close family member or a spouse or a friend of your supervisor, well, not a friend, because, you know, but like if they're a spouse or a family member of your supervisor, that would also be considered an arm's length issue. Proposed members, so proposed regular members can have an associate membership status with SGS. It's not exclusive as full membership status. So I will note that those of you who are MSc students and are considering transferring, if you do have a supervisor who has an associate membership status, if you're transferring into the PhD program eventually, I know this may seem a long way off, but just to keep it in the back of your mind that your supervisor will have to have membership status. So the slides, we're not going to send out the slides, but the recording will be available on our YouTube channel, and I'll send out the link after the workshop. And then someone asked in the chat, does the chair of the meeting need to be different in every meeting? They don't have to be different. They can be the same person at every meeting if you want. So especially if you have 4 PAC members and one of the PAC members is not able to attend one of the meetings, and that person happened to be the chair, you can change.
Yeah, normally your PAC member, other than your supervisor or co-supervisor, will act as a chair, and they will collect the voting result.
those are all the questions I see in the chat. Does anybody else have a question that? Oh, fall entry students, the deadline. Oh, sorry. Yes. So the deadline for submitting for fall fall entry students, the deadline for submitting the PAC approval forms is December 1st. With the idea being your PAC approval form gets submitted to either myself or Joanne by December 1st. And then you'll be looking to hold your first PAC meeting around February. If there are any of you who are January 2023 entry students or they're January entry students, submit the PAC form in PAC approval form in April. And you should be holding your first PAC meeting around now. Laura asked in the chat, can 2 committee members other than the supervisor be from the same hospital/research institution? Depends. For master students, yeah, fine.
Oh, I think it's possible. John or
Yeah.
Isabel?
I think if they're in the same department, if it's a big department like surgery, psychiatry, medicine, then ideally they would be in different divisions within that department. But one PAC member can be in the same department and collaborator with your supervisor. It's just we'd like to see another PAC member or a second PAC member who is not closely affiliated with your supervisor and is, as Emily and Joanne pointed out, arm's length.
Okay, someone in the chat. So if we could go over what to expect the meeting minutes and the PAC report looks like. So the PAC report is available. It's a form. It's available on the website. And the PAC report form should ideally be circulated to your PAC members about a week before, along with your research proposal, about a week before your actual PAC meeting is to take place. You know, especially because if some of your PAC members are on multiple PACs, it's important, and you only see them, you know, twice a year. It's important to give them a refresher, to give them time, to give them a refresher on what your research project is and what you have done to date. So, you know, before the PAC meeting, so they're not sort of playing catch up while you're doing a review.
Yeah, so I posted the link on our chat, but once you go to our PAC, our website, if you scroll down, there's meeting and forms, PAC meeting report, click, and this is the form that you need to fill out after your meeting. And at the end,
or like during the meeting, when it, like you're
during the meeting.
So before the meeting, you might want to fill in the student fields ahead of time.
Yeah. Hannah asks, do PAC meetings have to be in person? We sort of leave that up to you guys. They can be in person, they can be hybrid, they can be, you know, Zoom, all virtual like this. Yes, Isabella.
Okay, yes. Following up what was mentioned about the PAC report and when it's supposed to be filled, typically what also John mentioned is right after the candidate has presented, because of course there are boxes where the PAC members have to assess the knowledge of the individual and so on. But there is an important part in this PAC form that also relate to the fact that you guys as students have also one part in which the professor or your supervisor has to leave the room, and you have the chance to discuss with the other PAC member except your supervisor if there are any issue, or if you feel that you have a regular meeting with your supervisor. So you also have a voice in this PAC report. It's not just the chair and the PAC member and the supervisor that assess you. You also have the chance to externate if there is an issue and everything is fine, and you feel that you have access to your supervisor, a discussion over your project on a regular basis.
Thanks, Isabella.
I would say think about your PAC meeting as monthly, yearly check-in with your supervisor and committee members, and make sure that you maintain a good relationship with them. Sometimes when you're applying to different awards, you can get reference letter from your PAC members and your supervisor. So take advantage of PAC meetings.
Can I add a few points?
Yeah.
Just a couple of common misconceptions, and often it's the supervisor's misconceptions. You don't need to have research data or research progress to report to hold a PAC meeting. And particularly with the first meeting, it's really important to kind of get you started along the right track, regardless of any research progress. Secondly, your PAC members are kind of your gang, your mentors, and feel free to contact your PAC members for advice outside of the PAC meeting, and obviously within reason. You don't want to bug them consistently because they might get fed up, but using common sense. And you don't need your supervisor's permission to contact your PAC members.
Yeah, you don't need, just to go on, thanks, John. Yeah, just to go off of that, like, you don't need to hold an official PAC meeting to be able to talk to one of your regular PAC members. If their area of expertise, for example, you pick somebody who has qualitative methodology expertise, and you have a methodological question for them, you don't have to wait for an official PAC meeting to reach out to them and ask them about that. So Lily in the chat asks, how would students select/request a member with no relationship to their supervisor? Like, would we review the faculty list and email the faculty who may be relevant to request their availability? Are faculty expecting this? So
I think this is a John or Isabella question.
I mean, I would say, it's healthy to kind of consider that, but run any suggestions by your supervisor. And you might want to explain why you think they may be appropriate as a PAC member / mentor.
Yeah, so like, how will they help your research?
Sometimes your supervisor tends to have a group of people with whom she or he are working or have collaboration, or they know each other from events at university. It is very important for you, and I suggest all my students, yes, have one that perhaps we know, but choose somebody that is an expert of an aspect of your research project. For instance, if it's linked to cell biology, and I don't know, you work on cell motility, for instance, even if it's not cell motility related to your area of research, it can be cell motility in a different area of research, but that individual can help shape up your project and see an angle of your project that perhaps a team that works together always is a bit biased. And so that individual can have lots of saying on your project and on advancing your project.
And if you already have like another PAC member in mind who sort of agrees and you're sort of thinking about another person, you can also ask that other PAC member, hey, this is what my research project is. Do you have any suggestions on who you think we could ask as well? So,
In fact, it's not bad sometimes to have even 3 PAC members and your supervisor. And this can be important because very often if your project is dealing with a clinical issue and you have clinician on board, they can be very busy. And so having the 3rd member always guarantees a quorum for your PAC to occur.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And it's been mentioned you can add or drop PAC members during the course of your degree. The only proviso being you need to update with a IMS with an updated PAC membership.
Yeah. So if you find that a PAC member is not being super responsive, or they're not being super helpful, or if your research project has changed, and you need to add another PAC member to be able to sort of help in that area of research, your PAC as it stands now or as it's developing isn't necessarily set in stone. So. And also, if there are issues with your PAC members that pop up, that's what we're here for. We're also here to help sort that out as well. Don't feel like you're alone on this island with this, with this terrible PAC member that you're stuck with, or whatever. Come to us.
And let us know if you're having trouble getting your supervisor to understand the nature and purpose of the PAC meetings. That can occur occasionally.
So Megan asked, so if we were to add or remove a PAC member, would we have to be approved through the PAC approval form again? Yes.
Yeah,
we need to know who you're removing, if anybody, and we need to know who you're adding.
Yeah, and we will let you know again when they're approved. Any other questions?
No? Relatively clear? Go forth and find your other PAC members, I guess.
Best of luck, and best of luck for your first PAC meeting.
Yeah, so to reiterate, it's okay if on your PAC